Welcome guys to another deck tech with me, Lurrus. This time we are looking into Lurrus Knights, a deck which was initially provided by Danny T for me, and I tweaked the list a little bit and went to Mythic 14 in the first 2 days of the May Mythic Arena ladder. So let's jump into the cards. This deck is basically a deck which has Luros as a companion, and then we try to build a lot of knight synergies, and it's basically a 3-color aggressive deck which has a great matchup against those dreadful Yorion-Piles which are throwing around all over the place. So we have like 14 1-drops. 4 Venerable Knight, 4 Knight of the Ebon Legion, and 4 Fervent Champion, so the full 1-drop Mardu colored Knight synergy cards, and then 2 Fallmire Knight as a bit of a filler there, but it can get you there. It draws a card, it has Death Touch, it can trade against a big Fox, and so on. Then we have a big addition from the newest set from Ikoria, Fight as One. It's a 1-mana, basically counter-target Wrath, because we have a lot of non-human cards, non-human knights. For example, Corpse Knight, which is a zombie knight, or Fallmire Knight, which is a zombie knight, or Knight of the Ebon Legion, which is a vampire knight. The rest of them are humans, but in response to a Wrath, we can save, most of the time we can save 2 of our creatures, because Worthy Knight also makes humans, and Sky Knight Vanguard makes soldiers, which are also non-humans. So we can just play this in response to a Wrath effect and deal the last points of damage. Then we have 4 Worthy Knights, of course. Great one to go white. 2 Blacklands Paragon, which is a flash threat, which can be big against some of the matchups. Also provides a knight Death Touch and Lifelink, so all of our small knights can trade against bigger creatures. 2 Corpse Knights. Corpse Knights don't look that great, but right now I think they are very good, because whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, or each opponent loses 1 life, this synergizes very well with Sky Knight Vanguard and Worthy Knight. We have Stormfist Crusader as some kind of card advantage, Inspiring Radon for sure. If you play a Knight deck, you always want to have 2-mana Lord. And Sky Knight Vanguard, which is good because it provides evasion and a lot of creatures. And going wide with some kind of Sky Knight Vanguard or Worthy Knight is also pretty great with our Unbreakable Formation. Which like 50% of the time counters target Wrath, and the other 50% of the time you just cast it to win the game. Then we have the full 12 duels from the Mardu colors. We have 4 Tournament Grounds, which are great because every creature in our deck is a knight. Then we have a few basics and 1 Temple of Triumph. The initial list had 1 Mardu Triumph land, but I didn't like it too much. And also 1 more Swamp, and Swamp is really awkward because you have a lot of red-white 2-mana drops, and you need these specific mana costs on turn 2. So I thought I just tweaked the mana base a little bit. This deck can go wide because it has Luros of the Dream Den. And yeah, right now it's working out pretty good for me. So let's jump right into the sideboard technology. So at first we have sideboarding against Jeskai Luca Fires. So I will pop up the sideboard guide here at this point, and I will show it to you in the deck editor here. Against Jeskai Luca Fires, we will board into 3 drill bits against their threats and put specifically their Wrath effects and 1 Unbreakable Formation to counter the Wrath effects. We board out 2 Fallmire Knights because Death Touch is not very needed, and if the longer the game goes, the more likely the Luca Fires player wins. So we board out 2 Fallmire Knight, and the same is true for Corpse Knight. So this is basically, we board out 2 Fallmire Knight and 2 Corpse Knight. Now we have Band Yorion. Against Band Yorion, we board in again 3 Drillbit, also 1 Unbreakable Formation, and I tried out 1 Shield Breaker because most of the time they are boarding in Glass Casket as their removal of choice, which can be dealt with by Embrace Shield Breaker. Embrace Shield Breaker is not great on its own, and here specifically be aware that the advantage part of Emperor Shieldbreaker cannot be cast with tournament grounds. The same is true for Lurrus, for example, because Luros is not a knight. So be always aware that the mana from tournament grounds is only be able to provide colored mana for knights or equipment spells. But then again, how to sideboard? We board in those 5 cards and we board out again 2 Foulmire Knight, 2 Corpse Knight, and 1 Sky Knight Vanguard because it's pretty slow. Also, they have a lot of flying. They have cycle the Shark Typhoon, and then Sky Knight Vanguards gets often ambushed. So for the next deck, we have Cycling. The dreadful Cycling deck. How do we board against Cycling? We board in 3 Dire Tactics to get rid of their creatures like the one that makes 1/1 tokens and the Big Fox. And we board in 3 Drill Bits to get rid of their Zenith Flare before it gets too big and out of hand. And we board out, because there are a lot of 1/1 tokens generators, we board out 2, 1 Venerable Knight, 1 Fighters 1 because they don't have a lot of sweepers. We also board out 2 Crusaders because we don't want to give them card advantage, and 2 Corpse Knight again. That is our strategy for the Cycling deck. Then we have Mono Black Obosh. Mono Black Obosh, we board in, for sure, 3 Apostle of Purifying Light. We also board in 3 Tactics to get rid of their creatures. We board in 1 Shield Breaker because maybe you can even board in 2 if you see a lot of the Silver Spear, which provides lifelink, and they always have the Heraldic Banner. And also we board in 1 Unbreakable Formation for the win. Against Mono Black Ambush, we board out 4 Venerable Knights because they have Whisper Squad. And again, we are boarding out 2 Corpse Knight and 2 Crusaders because they don't shine against an aggressive matchup. The next one is the Luros Necrophyse deck, which is basically like Rakdos Sacrifice with only 1 and 2 drops. Then we board in 3 Apostles again because protection from black and exiling cards from graveyards is great against them. We board in 3 Dire Tactics again and 2 Shield Breaker at this point, because here we are sure that we get some kind of value out of the adventure. Specifically, getting rid of an Oven is very, very good. As for boarding out, we board out 2 Crusader, 2 Corpse Knight, 2 Blacklands Paragon, and 2 Foulmire Knights. Basically all of our 2-offs. At the next one, we have the Jeskai Fires deck, which is still a pretty big force. Even though it gets hated by the Yorion decks, I think everybody enjoys playing Fires, and Fires is still a great deck. So you always have to be aware that you can be facing Fires. How to board against Fires. We board in 2 Despark because all of their threats cost 4 or more. I think they won't board in the aggressive sideboard plan against you, so I think Despark is pretty great. Also 2 Tactics for their creatures, 2 Drill Bits, and 1 Unbreakable Formation. As for boarding out, we're taking out Foulmire Knight with the same reasoning as said before. 2 Corpse Knight, 2 Worthy Knight, and 1 Inspiring Veteran. Then the next one is Red-Green Fires. How to board against Red-Green Fires. To board in, it's basically the same against Jeskai Fires. We board in 2 Despark, 3 Tactics, and 3 Drill Bit. And for boarding out, this is a bit different because they don't have a lot of sweepers. For instance, this is the difference between Jeskai Fires and Red-Green Fires. And then we board out 2 Foulmire Knight, 2 Corpse Knight, 1 Fighters 1, 1 Venerable Knight, 1 Veteran, and 1 Formation because they don't have a lot of sweepers. That said, you just take this sideboarding guide only as a broad overview on how to sideboard, and you always have to think for yourself. Look at the list they are playing. Look at the cards you see that they play. If you play against a red-green player who has like 4 Storm's Wrath and 4 Flame Sweeps in their sideboard, just act accordingly, right? This is more of a guideline on how to generally approach the matchup, but if you see some specific or odd choices for these general matchups, just be sure to adapt to it. Now, this is more of a broad guideline for it. This is sure for every matchup. Next one we have Sultai midrange. We board in 3 Drill Bit and 2 Despark. and we board out 2 Fallmire Knight, 2 Corpse Knight, and 1 Fighters 1, because their weapon of choice is most of the time Extinction Event, and there is Fighters 1 isn't very helpful against this. And then next we have Vinoda. Vinoda is a combo deck, you all know it. How to board against Vinoda. We basically cannot let Vinoda live, because if they ever attack with Vinoda in play, we are probably going to lose. So our first priority is to always make sure that Vinoda is not on the battlefield. As for that, I try to board in 2 D-Sparks. Even though I played the matchup at all, I would board in 2 D-Sparks, 2 Dire Tactics, and 3 Drill Bits. And board out 4 Venerable Knights because they have a lot of 1/1 token generators, 1 Fighters 1 because they don't have a lot of sweepers, 2 Blacklands, same reasoning as for the Venerable Knights, and I also board out 1 Corpse Knight. Then we have Reclamation. Why didn't Reclamation? It's still a powerful force in the current meta, even though it doesn't play a companion. How to board against Reclamation. We board in 2 D-Sparks, we board in 1 Formation, and we board in 3 Drill Bit. And for boarding out, we take out 2 Fallmire Knight, 2 Corpse Knight, 1 Worthy Knight, and 1 Crusader. And the last one, which was popping up at the last the last weekly championship from Channel Fireball, is Teamer Adventures. Teamer Adventures is also pretty great against the Yorion deck, so you probably will be facing a lot of more Teamer Adventures in the near future. How to board against Teamer Adventures? For sure, boarding in Amber Shield Breakers. Also try out 3 Dire Tactics and at least 2 Drill Bits. I didn't play against it, but that would be my initial choice. Against Clover, against any creatures, especially the Edgewall Innkeeper, and against some shenanigans and card advantage spells like Escape to the Wilds and Great Henge and so on. For boarding out, we take out 2 Venerable Knights because they are very bad against the 1/1 tokens from the Last Dark Beast, 2 Fallmire Knights because, as I already said, if it goes too long the game, we are probably losing anyways, 2 Paragon, and 1 Fighters 1 because they are not playing a lot of sweepers. So that's it for my Luros Knights deck tag. I hope you enjoyed it. You can, if it was too fast for you, you can find the full sideboarding guide link in the description below, and make sure to follow me here on YouTube. I mostly stream Magic on Twitch. If you want to join me there, it's twitch.tv/Solaris with a 4 and a 1. And yeah, that's it. Feel free to put something in the comments. Let me know if you want to see other deck lists, and also check out my Patreon. It's also linked below. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.